Best chat in the world. Thanks for waiting on me. Doo doo doo. Doo doo doo. Worst host in the world. Late for his own show. Doo 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 doo. But I'm here now. And I love you. I love you much. I love you strong. Love you a long damn time. Hey Raspberry, how you doing? Thank you so much for popping in. Pat Smallwood Lot, what up? My main man Rob in the building. Rob Bass, what's happening? Over at the Depression Talks, and special guest Ramon in the building. If y'all have not checked out Ramon, you totally should. Reno with Ramon. He's brand new to the channel. I just joined his channel. So we're going to have to pop him in here in the blue to have the moderation. And I apologize, Ramon, ahead of time for these ridiculous voices in my head that slide out of my mouth from time to time. It's ridiculous. They do poor French accents and all sorts of nonsense. So please forgive us. Raspberry Hedgehog, you are my friend and you are also a moderator because I want to be able to see you when you come in here and be blue. Okay. What up, Mike? That. Oh boy. So here's the thing. I had this problem for so long. No way, no good way, in my opinion. In my shop, too comfortably. I didn't want to build a shave horse. I did not want to build a whole new bench to sit on. And whereas I think if you got the space for it, that's the best thing to do. But this is the space I have. And often I'm doing little pieces like this. And I want to be able to spoke shave them. And this worked. It worked like gangbusters. That holds really tight. And it releases really easily. But also, and forgive me all of you who have seen this already if you watched me build this yesterday. Put it on that side. Since that one screwed down, I've also got a way to run my hand planes across this material. However, does it mark the side that it's holding? No, that's just 100 grit sandpaper to hold on to it. On the one side, on this side, it just, so far I haven't needed to do it twice, but on the side over here, when I put this on to do the pulling, I did put some sandpaper here because the spoke shave is so much more aggressive that it was wanting to pull a little bit. So once I put that there, it solved that problem. But that's also one of the things that we're going to be talking about. On this side, you'll notice I put a little notch here so that if I was using the if I'm using my plane, all I have to do is prevent it going forward, right? So I can totally do that. Don't necessarily even have to lock this in any other way other than the wedging of it forward. So I'm pretty good with that. The only thing about this is I think I'll need to make way. And I may not, but I want to have a way to make it a little bit wider for this side over here. Because again, if I'm pushing forward, this doesn't seem to be a problem at all. Also, I'll put these little pegs in here. But over here, let's see, truthfully, usually when you're doing something with a spoke shave, you want it to be, one, free. Generally, you want it up in the air. That's how I want it, right? So with this wedge, something this big, I run out of space. I don't know if you can see that well enough, but essentially I run out of space. Golly, let me turn this camera around. Me up close. So if I go back far enough to accommodate a piece that big, I've only got that much holding it, right? Now, maybe that'll be okay, but I'm gonna have to definitely put in some sandpaper on that side to hold it. Sandpaper is a great hold system. Like, I can't tell you how good sandpaper and pressure are. Now, when this wedge wants to come up, I did build in this little latch here, right? That can prevent that. But like I said, if I got a weird shape or something, like that's holding that, even though it's, you know, a weird shape. And it's holding, I'm pulling pretty strong. It's wiggly, but I'm pulling pretty strong. But I do want to hold something bigger than that, which means that I'll have to figure out how to just shift this over a little bit more or shift this over a little bit more. Either way, one or the other. Probably this one. And do my holes over again. And then I can get hold all the way back here. You see, if I've got something really narrow, like this screwdriver. Let me show you. I'm fumbling about. If I got something really narrow that I want to hold, say that's it, right? That'll hold it up here. But if it's wider, I got a problem. But that'll hold because I got the sandpaper both sides. But the other idea is that I think I wanted this a little thicker, this a little thicker. And I think I can do that by just making an attachment and just gluing another plank of wood on there. And I'll run the sandpaper the whole way. That way I've got strength up here and up high. And then I'll try maybe another 1.5 inches to the left, shifting this over. And I think I'm good. This is all fairly simple stuff, but tried to be as thoughtful about it as I can be, because I build a lot of knives. I build a lot of little things like this, and I got to be able to hold them, right? And this finally lets me do that without clunking a big vise up here, shifting it all over the place. Not that this is some small thing. But either way, that's what we're doing today. We're improving this. We're going to thicken that. We are going to transfer these pegs over another 1 or 2 inches so that we can shift this jig over and adjust for the size of whatever the thing is that we're building that day. I am big on being properly set up. And by properly set up, I just mean an efficient way to get your goals accomplished and your tasks done. And in our case, this desk in this everything within reach scenario for me is working great for being able to film this stuff. But I got to be able to also work as efficiently as possible. So I think I'm gonna just rip me a piece right here, run it right along that same edge, and continue some grip. I also think I might double this up, make it twice as thick, and leave room. Well, can't really do that, can I? Because I'll impede this. Let's see if that makes a difference if I just do the one. Because we got the room for it here. Let's see. Do I have anything that I've already put together for that piece? Nope. But I can glue that bad boy right on there. That'll work out lovely. Let's make a mark. Let's make it visible. Let's make it demonstrative. Bad piece, good piece. All right, over here, jumping. Let me just squeeze you over there with Dr. Doom for just a second. Him and Nas got something to say. What if I had power to it? What if I had the power? All right. I'm going to be back at you in just a second, chat. I promise I'm not ignoring you. I am just tunnel vision. All right. I'm back, Jack. I'm going to clean that top surface off. We got a couple little bumps here. As a contractor, what we used to do when we had to clean a deck off or something, and we got joists there, and we can't visibly see all the screws, so we would just slide the hammer on its side, and whatever it hit, we just whack it. So in this case, whatever we hit, you're just going to scrape it clean. That way, we got our glue bond, good as it can be. So, what we're going to do here is good old-fashioned wood glue. No, I'm not. I'm going to do epoxy because it'll be faster. It'll dry faster. It'll set faster. I'll tell you what. I do want to use wood glue. But I'm going to do something else in addition to the wood glue. I'm going to put a couple screws in there just to hold it, right? And that'll let us keep working with this piece while it sets up. Later on, I can pull those screws off if and I want to. That's the kind of language they teach you in the public school system, if and I want to. Say it with my original proper North Carolina accent. Then I'd say if and I want to. If and the dang well want to. Y'all know me, I don't go crazy about smearing glue. It ain't all that complicated. I don't do a lot of jumping through the hoops for it. But we do make sure we get what we are doing properly glued up. And some nice squeeze out, should that be the case. All right. So for now, we're going to look for our big mouth home depot clips. These might have come from Lowe's because they're blue. I think these are the ones that come from the depot right here. These are called spring clamps. I called them alligator clamps in one of my videos, and I got the business. So, new year, new me. All right. So while that's happening, what we can also do is let that. This one's a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. All right. That's cool. Let that sit for a second. We're just using these little drywall screws because they bite good and they're cheap, right? Don't use them for outside things, and don't use them for things where you're relying exclusively on them to hold pressure, except for stuff like drywall, obviously. Because they do break easier than most screws, and they do rust easier than most screws. So if they're exposed, you don't want to use these, and they're ugly, you know. So this is fairly soft wood, so I'm not gonna worry a whole lot about going to grab power tool for it. And just with that little bit, look at all the squeeze I'm getting. These things bite. Let me pop another one in. And this is Southern Yellow Pine, just construction grade El Cheapo stuff. Now, the board I'm going into is just a piece of scrap cedar that was in the shop from leftovers from a deck build. It's a 1x4, and it doesn't have to be the cedar. It doesn't have to be yellow pine. These are things that are cheap, aka free to me, because it's just leftover scrap material from stuff I've already built. So in this case, I'm going to rub away my squeeze out pretty fast because that's going to be on the side where I want to glue up that that additional sandpaper. And if we wanted to, we can take these off. I'm going to leave this one on the middle for now and see if that just kind of helps keep this stuff bonded. But if we needed to, we can take these off, and that'll hold up well enough for what we're doing. I don't like to use good stuff or new stuff if I can help it. So what I'm looking for is some more sandpaper that I don't care about, because I don't need this to be anything particularly fancy. I just need it to be sandpaper that'll hold on to stuff. And rough isn't bad necessarily. This one's got stuff on it. I'm going to use the cleaner to get it off. I think that's just drywall dust. Yeah, that's just drywall dust. See how this stuff just cleans off sandpaper no matter what? I love it. Now this is 120 grit. What I got on there right now is 100 grit, that purple. Yeesh. I'm going to leave it right there. And I'm going to use that kind of as a kickstand for now. Let that help hold. And this one too. There we are. So I'm going to go at full width, but I'm going to run all the way back. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off because it's annoying me. All right, we'll put that right on the edge, and we will follow that edge. Make us a little cut, just to not have that in our way. Oh, dang it. And that right there, perfect. What we want to glue that on with, and we're going to use the rubber cement for that. That's easy. Again, if you're in the chat and you say hey to me, man, I'm sorry. Don't let this discourage you like I'm a jerk. I mean, I am kind of a jerk, but not intentionally so. Only for the purposes of doing efficient content so I don't make everybody crazy with yammering and not getting stuff done. I can do that too. So this rubber cement is going down over here. You won't see this done very many places, but while it's wet, right? I know what I said. Quiet. Keep your opinions down. While it's wet, get both surfaces. Boom. Right? Get both surfaces. Just put a little extra on. Get both surfaces. You smear it. And now I've got all of that good. Even in these cracks, I've got all of that good. Get that about 10 minutes to dry up while we do some of this other stuff. And that'll be ready in no time. We'll stick those together. We'll slice them off. Again, this is a jig that we're building out of the scraps we have. We can complicate this or we can make it better later if you want to. If you decide you want to use cherry and mahogany for all of this, that'd be dope. Send me pictures. If you decide you want to put a special grip off of eBay that you found online, do it. You know what I'm saying? How long have I been woodworking? Says Trace. December marked my 1 year anniversary of having an attempt at woodworking. So I'm pretty brand new, I would say. I happen to be a contractor, so I'm familiar with saws. I'm familiar with most power tools. Wasn't familiar with hardly any hand tools. I very seldom use a chisel in my line of work, even when I'm deck building. Chisels I use are much bigger and meant to just split wood, not necessarily slice it. Nick says, good morning, Wes. We must be brain brothers because you're doing exactly what I was thinking you should do when you showed me this project last week. Oh, man. You know what? That's it. Sometimes the experienced guys who've got more experience than me have thought ahead of some of these similar problems, and you just jumped ahead of me. I figured it out today, but good stuff. I'm glad you're in here. Gosh, I want a belt and disc sander like his, says Fetty. The spring and I'm hitting up all the garage sales. Yes. Hit the garage sales. Also, Facebook Marketplace. That's where I got that thing. And what was wild is I didn't even go for it. What I was going to go get was that lathe over there. And it all runs. It's just bound up and there's a little work I have to do to it. But I wasn't trying to buy that when I got it. It was there and the belt was off of it and that little pin was out of it and he didn't know how to fix it. And I've never had one. And I was like, how much you want for that? He was like, oh, I'm going to work on it. I said, how much you take for it as is? Because the motor ran. And he said, hey, give me another $30. It's heavy as hell. That's heavy too. But another $30. Threw it on the truck, took it home with me. You never know. You never know. Crazy thing is, like what's going to happen here at my house. One day, I'm going to wake up on the wrong side of the dirt, right? And all of this stuff in here and all of that back there, my kids are going to do a garage sale and whatever somebody says, they're going to say, okay. They're going to look at that same machine. Somebody's going to say $10. They're going to say, okay. You have blood brothers and brain brothers. I need to go. This pantry is empty. Blessings, everyone. See you later, Tim List. Peace, bro. Hey, Plywood, how you doing, man? How you doing? Good to see you in this building too. Plywood is my guy. He's been hanging out with us for a long time, yo. I think I explained my thought poorly about what you do in the 200 characters. Howdy, Wes. Could you just drill out a new screw hole, connect them into the long ovals, and use large washers and a nut to make it adjustable side to side? Yeah. Yeah, that would be a good idea, Fetty. Um, hey, Kevin. Hey, Mark. I'm sorry I missed y'all. Yeah, that would be a good idea. I have already uh, put in these dowels because the dowels were my original idea. I thought that might be enough to hold it in place, but I get kind of this weird rocking pressure that pulls them out of the tabletop, and that's why I did the single little screw. It doesn't bite much, but it bites enough to hold it down nice and firm. Um, and it probably penetrates this wood maybe a half inch, maybe 3/8. I think we're good to stick this on here now. I'm going to just ride the edge on this back side here, on this side, on this saw, and I'm going to just press down. And then I'm going to use this screwdriver like a little roller. You hear that it's ratchety? I'm going to roll it in the direction that it's ratcheting so that it'll roll, not drag, because I don't want to drag stuff off. But I do want to press all of that down and get those wrinkles out. That's going to be somewhat important here. Roll, you son of a gun. I guess I'm going to drag it after all. But I need those wrinkles out. I'm just going to press that down nice and tight on that edge. I'm just going to drag that edge. Fold them back. But this is still paper after all. Just weaken it right there on that joint. It'll make it a lot easier to cut. All right, we got some good stuff here, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it's ugly. Yes, it's ugly, but so am I, and you're still here, and I'm still working, right? So ugly stuff can work. Shout out to my friends that'll be like, Wes, don't say that about yourself. You're a great guy. I love you. All right. Let's set that down and see if it did what we wanted it to. I still kind of feel like I could go a little thicker over here. And then I need some more stuff here too. But I did know that. Let's see if I got some more of that purple. I'll just match it up. There's a little bit of scrap. It's ugly, but maybe you'll allow it. Maybe you'll forgive me for it. Ugh. Maybe not. So I need more. More of the rubber cement. Glad that worked though. A little bit too much. Open that up and just find a place that we can fit it on there. That looks good enough to me. And we'll just smear it with it, with it, with it. And that way all of it will get rubber cement. Don't worry, I know this is not the traditional way to do it. I happen to be a YouTuber, so, you know, it's pretty much official. Either way, like I'm awesome. So if I put that there, that's no good. I'm gonna just move this away, closer that way. And I'm gonna have to measure these holes. I'll just measure these holes over exactly the same amount. But I don't think I need to go over more than a few inches at the very, very most. So what I'll do is I'll go over 2 inches. What if I go over just that amount? 1, and it'll just click over 1 tick. That could work. Let's see. Maybe you can see what I'm doing. You get some sort of measuring device is what I need to do. That'll do. The center of that goes over 2 inches. And I stay right where I'm at. I hit right here. I'll do the same thing with this one. Go from the center, I keep the same reveal on the edge, and I go over 2 inches. Hit right here. If I start with this edge, sorry, can't see what I'm doing. My bad. And I send it over. More or less 2 inches. Hit right here. Let me make sure I'm about the same. No, it's not. Let's see, that's that gone over 2. That's that gone over 2. That looks like more than 2. Not. Let's try it. Nothing to it but to do it. This seems to be the bit size we're after. So let's grab a strap that can handle it. Get this thing in today. Let's see if you will fit. Oh, we missed it. Which did we miss the most? The bottom or the top? Bottom is crazy. Let's get that out. So if that's the top, that's wild. That needs to come down. Let's see. I'm gonna just have to make some marks. And same up here. Right. This one needs to come over this way some more. And we could say, make these holes fairly big, truthfully. And it wouldn't be necessarily catastrophic. As long as we got good old Forstner bit. That has worked. Thank goodness. What we'll also do, back that screw out, right? And once we do, where's my screwdriver? Where's my screwdriver? All right. We're going to back that screw out. We're going to change that bit, send it into this thing. And we're going to put that same screw back in. We're going to send it down. We're not going to let it crank too tight. All right. Now we're good. So if that needs to go down, barely send it in. Now we got this chunk of wood. It's still not having, we actually need this jig to do this part right here, ideally. So let me go ahead and glue that upon there. That should be set up. And this is sandpaper. You can see we've used plenty before. I wouldn't use new sandpaper for this, but you could. It's just me being a cheapskate. Frugal McFrugerton. That's out. That's free. That's on. And we press in. Everything nice and clean and wrinkle free. And now we got somewhat a more robust circumstance here, I think. But let's try it out because I don't know yet. I have to see how effective our situation is. When this is further out like that, now, say I had this piece and say it's dome shaped like that. Question is, can I use it? Does it work? Where's my spoke shave? Let's see. Because this is too big for us before. Right now, that's, where is, I don't want to give it too much trauma. But a couple knocks Oh, it's going to let me do it this way. This particular piece is not going to let me sit up like that. Let's see if we turn it this way, will it allow it? No, it just wants to lay down. And if I've got enough of it extending this way, that's fine. If I got enough of it up high, I guess that's fine. Because it's holding this fair. But I still wonder if I've got a thicker version of that, does that help? You know what I mean? Does that help hold it in place? Because it's just that. Because I want the pull tension to also be an issue. Let me see. Maybe a wedge under here is the answer. Maybe a wedge that just holds it up if you're using this. Because if I have just this, for instance, I'm going to just tuck it underneath, right? And see if that holds that angle up. Completely solve the problem. So I think that's okay. If I've got a real world handle, this is potentially something I would make or use. And I want to put a little, I don't know. Oh, this is good. This would be an answer. Got a round dowel here. The round dowel works. We're good to go. I wonder if I should put, look at that. I don't know if you can see this, but I think this is going to make a difference. See right here, that gap, you got wider on the end. That means I need to tilt. I need to turn this that way because we need to be pinching towards that way. So I need to send this whole jig just slightly over. That kind of sucks. That's going to be hard to do. Maybe easier to move this one over that little bit. Let's try it. Hey, yo, a penny saved is a penny earned, says Fetty. Hell yeah. Nick Frando says some of the richest people are the biggest cheapskates. Hey, I can attest to that. But also some of the brokest. So what I'm going to do, shift. Top should be good. See, there's a little bit of movement I can make. I'm going to shift this over just a bit. Just a bit. Almost similar to what Fetty was saying, to have a maneuverable circumstance. You could just want to do. There is a freedom in being able to drill into your workbench, friends. I promise you. It feels good. All right, here's what I'm going to do. Let's also remove that screw. And I think I'm going to put it right here. And I'm going to do that with a little bit of favor towards this way because it can shift like that, right? So when the screw is in here, it'll be favoring this way. So when I put that piece over, when I'm shifting this way, I'll put the screw right there. It'll favor that side and give me the pinch I need because I don't want it to be wider at the opening than it is. And I'm going to do this screw by hand because I want to feel that bite when it goes in there. And I also kind of want to direct it a little bit catty corner. And I don't want to send it any further than the bite I need. That's it right there. So let's see. To put this in now, does it hold? So far, so good. But stationary is easy, right? That wasn't either. From that far away, it's very delicate. What if I'm here? Well, here I can work. Little spoke worked good. Try this one with a little more girth. Send it a little further out. Tighten them up a little bit. Tighten them up a little more. Oh, it's popping out. I may have to do something special for a dowel. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I won't. Send the blade down a little deeper. See if we can take off a little more. What that'll look like. So if we were being aggressive, that does the job, ladies and gents. That does the job. So, what I think I will do, now that we are reasonably refined, I wouldn't say, perfect, but I would say better than we were. And cut that right off, no problem. It's pretty aggressive shave on that dowel. Those are results I can live with. And I'm just here to get stuff done. Whereas Mike need to just go all out and build a shave horse. No, Fetty, I don't want to. I don't want something that big in here. I don't need another big seat. Tap the wedges with the rubber hammer and get it tight like a tiger. Yeah, that's the way. I think that's the way. But again, it's a round shape over the thing. But I think it works. I think if round works, anything else works. And all I really need is for maybe these kinds of shapes to work. These kinds of shapes to work, because these are the types of things that I'm generally building here from time to time, something like that. But for the most part, I think this will do what we want it to do without adding another thing in the floor space of the shop is the biggest concern. Just keeping the floor space unencumbered as much as possible. There definitely is a bunch of stuff in here, though. Where's she gonna make us use trig to figure out that angle? Swore I wouldn't do that after high school. No, no, no. The interesting thing about this is the angle doesn't even matter. Doesn't even matter. I did not measure an angle. What I did was say, this is the size piece I had. And I said, I'm going to get almost as much out of this as possible. And I just guessed that. But if you would like that angle, I can certainly give it to you. Let's see. Here's a little trick. Because I already got a table saw in here, that's perfect zero. Put it right here, and I can use that same trick that I used on my video that everybody's mad at me about. This one right here, and I can use that line and use that right there to tell me what angle I'm on. So let's see. If we are right here, locked right there at 15 degrees, my friend. 15 degrees is your answer. What's it does it? Do some Japanese joinery in here. So yeah, good stuff, good stuff. Oh, Johnny, hey, what's going on? What's going on? Good to see you, man. I'm glad you came through. Nick said, what's the weather like? The weather is great right now. The weather is great right now. It's been cold. I'm fortunate enough that my garage shop is 3/4 underground. So really the only places that's above ground is right where my doors are for about 7 or 8 feet. And that's about it. Everything else is underground. So this temperature stays pretty comfortable, somewhere between 60 and 70, 73 almost constantly. Worst I have to do down here is put long sleeves on usually. Hey, Woodchucker Caleb, how you doing? The best gosh darn chainsaw carver in town. If y'all have not checked out Woodchucker, you totally should. He is hilarious, fun channel, and does some cool stuff like a chainsaw. He's making art with a chainsaw. So that's next level. I'm doing it with X-Acto knives. He's doing it with a chainsaw. So definitely worth the watch. Thank y'all for dealing with me on some of this mechanical stuff that I'm doing today. Sometimes people just want to see stuff like this. And I appreciate y'all who are willing to sit around and learn some of this stuff with me and figure out how to solve some of these shop problems. You know what I'm saying? And I think we solved some pretty good shop problems today. But one of the things I am going to need to do, is to build me another knife. I want to make a couple more marking knives. I want to make a couple more carving knives. And I got some more blade left on these blades that I've been using. But I think that'll serve me better here. Because when I get to these handles, man, if I've got the ability to take these things and shift them and move them easily, that will be the bee's knees. Right? Because these will be the size boards that I'll be using for my blanks, right? Things like that. And I need to be able to pull them. I need to be able to cut the edges around them corners, do all the stuff. I think we got an answer. So I'm going to figure out what size blade I want to cut. And then we'll use one of these and we'll cut it down and we'll start making us a blade. Give me a few minutes to go grab something for my tummy, and then I'll be back. And I don't know who else might be on right now. You can check out maybe Dad's Workshop. Calvin might be on. Um, not for sure who would be, but I'll be back in about an hour. Till then, Wes does it. Peace.